Today I'm going to go over some basic information and show you how you can access ACT Test Prep in your Naviance account. So once you log into Naviance, under Resources you will click Naviance Test Prep. This will open a new tab in your browser. It may take a minute to configure, but it shouldn't take very long at all. Once it pops up, one of the first things it's going to show you is how many days until the next ACT. So you will be able to tell it if you're going to take the April ACT, you can select that date. If you are going to take a test in June, you can select that date, and then it will tell me how many days you have until the June ACT. So that will tell you how much time you have to prepare and what you need to get through before test day. The first thing that I would recommend doing once you get in is to click on the study plan. I have already completed a few of the tasks that are in here. It tells you about the format, understanding the test, and how to get the most out of Naviance Test Prep. After that, the ideal situation would be to take the diagnostic test. The diagnostic test will go through all four areas: English, Math, Science, and Reading of the ACT, and it will test your knowledge and see where you are and give you resources and the ability to improve your scores in the areas that you need to improve. It is a full-length practice test. You can see I've started this. I'm on the first question of English. So you can go through, you could answer those questions and get a diagnostic back of how you did and ways that you could improve your score in areas that you could work on. If you've already taken an ACT and you know areas that you could work on, you could start in the lessons section. In the lesson section, you can see that I've completed some of these lessons already that I showed you. They're check marked. You can go through and get some overall strategies and review the test here. You can click on these and go through some of those. But if you have a specific area that you feel you need to work on, you could go specifically to that area and look at those lessons. So if you took the ACT on the English section, if your usage and mechanics score wasn't as high as you wanted it to be, you could go through here and look at some of the information they have here on usage and mechanics. Some of this information, punctuation, grammar, you may have not gone over that recently, and so you may have forgotten some of that information. So if you need to review some of that, you could do any of that here. Rhetorical skills, you can overview that as well. So you can see that there's lots of information here. So if you have a specific area that you need to work on, you could always go into the lessons and get started. As you can see, this is really long. It then goes to math. So if it's been a while since you took basic algebra, or if it's been a while since you took geometry and you need to go back and review some of this information, you could go through here and look at some of these lessons and do that. The other thing you can do is once you go through the lessons, then you could go to the practice section. So if I didn't do as well in geometry and I went through and did some of the lessons, now I could go to the practice session, see if I actually learned from the lessons, and I can take some practice questions and see how I do and see if I've actually looks like I've learned it and I'm ready to improve my score. The other thing you can do is you can actually go through. I mentioned the diagnostic test, it's there. Mine is currently paused. There are also 6 full-length practice tests in here. So there is a ton of resources, a ton of information in here as you're prepping for the ACT. So if you have not taken an ACT yet, I highly recommend you get started with the diagnostic test so it can go through and it will give you areas that you could work on to improve your score when you take the actual test. If you've taken the test and you kind of know some areas that you need to work on and that you need to kind of improve to bump your score a little bit higher, you can always go through these lessons and find an area that was low for you or an area that you would like to get your score higher. You can always do practice questions in areas so you can get a better feel of what types of questions will be on there. And again, you can always go through and do all of these full-length practice tests if you wish and if you have time to do that. Hopefully this information in here will be helpful as you are preparing for the ACT. Some students feel a lot of pressure and a lot of anxiety when they take the test. The point of this hopefully is to make you feel more prepared when you go into the test. You can be more relaxed and do better on the test. If you ever have questions or need any help with ACT prep, don't hesitate to stop by one of the counselor's offices and we will be happy to help you.